Hello and welcome to Supreme Commander Forge Lines Forever. Today, I'm gonna watch another series of games played in the dead of night between Zock and Patrick. So, Seraphim versus Cybern again. I don't like this map, but I still search. Do competitive 5. Ah man. That's a meme and a half. Competitive FAF scene. Talking about the ladder pool. Talking about ladder pool is actually Groundhog Day. It's just same conversation repeated verbatim. Just every, once in a while. And people just literally say the same things. The same people say the same things. It's fucking hilarious, actually. So, to the game, Patrick skips this mechs here, just wants the Hydro with 2 engineers, because there's reclaim here. Hydro is more valuable, needs to get the Hydro done at like the same time as the air factory. Zock looks like he is doing some ghetto build order there. When you have to pause NGs in your build order and build a random PGen, you probably fucked up. So advantage Patrick. This is kind of a classic build order it's one to know is this factory. Your ACU is building 5 PGens, 2 engineers are building the Hydro, and you get 4 mexes. So to do this build order, you also need an engineer who's reclaiming. So you can do that on several maps. You can do it on, say, Desert Planet 2. You can do it on Open Palms. You can do it on any map really where you have 4 mexes, a Hydro close, and some reclaim. And the reason it's good is that the ACU is always building, it never has to walk. In the very initial stages of the build order, you get 2 factories down without the ACU walking. So, builds have to be tailored to every map, but there's also templates to know, and that's definitely one of them. So, one thing that really I would like to fix is the fucking Seraphim transport loads so poorly. It's just the absolute worst, and I have no idea why. Worse than any other transport. It's complete AIDS. But, so yeah, if you have a Seraphim, try and load away from anything. Don't load in between buildings or near buildings near your ACU, because they just fucking bump like motherfuckers. Zock drops on the Hydro, rushes it, and yeah, he's gonna suck the reclaim, build the mexes, should probably speed up slightly at the start. So yeah, this map Navy is not so hot. This map it's actually about T1 land spam. You drop on your opponent's side and you just spam land. You build 20 factories. Patrick's bringing his ACU here, Zock bringing his across. I think the previous cast we saw Zock lurking in the water, and he had a unit advantage and just ran over Patrick, who was here with his ACU and didn't realize. Zock's commander was in the water, so Patrick, remembering all too clearly what happened, is going to try and do the same thing, I think. And of course, as on all these flooded maps, the Seraphim ACU kind of pokes up a bit. Seems to always happen. A lot of factories here already, one being edge built to the top. Nice that you don't even need a commander here to do it, you can do it with engineers. Will we see... Oh, the battle. Zock attempts to retreat, but no dice. That's some fucking quick reactions. Civilian on civilian violence. More factories going up. Yeah, you can see this is actually what normally happens, is that the guy who drops has all their factories on the opponent's side. And then they have not that much on their side for land spam, but Whiteheart is a bit. Zock has very little. It's kind of dangerous. I did notice Zock likes to put his build power much closer to the engineer, the opponent's base, which is better obviously than having it back in your own base, as long as you can get those factories up in time. But it's pretty dangerous now with Patrick having his ACU here. PD goes up, nice one. Perfect timing. Medusa gets killed as well, so just gonna wait. Bit of a drop, engineers and tanks. It's just kind of weird. But oh, yeah, he wants to try kill this factory. You can see the level of tryharding right here. Just doing some obscure drops. Strange places, just because you can get 3 tanks there a bit faster, you know. That's the level we're at here, guys. Not much navy, you know, just the basic amount of like 2, 3, 4 factories. Spam them subs. Nice that he has the Hydra. That's pretty nice. Considering they make so many subs, you would think they try get some torp launchers up. They are extremely effective versus subs. Zock still has some reclaim. Patrick looks like he stole a lot of that stuff. And he's got the gun. Yeah, you know, when you're fighting ACU versus ACU, commander upgrade is king. And Zock is... Oh, walking and upgrading. Fucking reported. He's running away and upgrading. I'm sure he's done that by accident. Right, guys? And he stopped. That's interesting. So that's actually the level of tryharding we're at, is using bugs. I mean obscure features. Yes, of course. And Zock looks like he is in trouble. That's a rip. I think we just wait for him to dine out and I take a sip of my coffee. Yeah, GG. This map is fucking... god. Got a good excuse. Got a good excuse for running away while upgrading your gun? I don't think so. Okay, let's get the next one going. You'll notice a certain pattern of maps which happen. Might be interesting to see for the people who tell you about how map selection works. It's a case study in how random actually works, really, when we watch these games. Now we're on Farce. We didn't actually see Farce yesterday. So now you get a case study in tree reclaim. All mappers need to watch this, how this map is played, and learn from it, please. Do not put just hideous amounts of forest in tree groups on your map. Don't do it. So we can see here, one factory, PGen, 3 mexes. Second factory, yes, that's right, 1 PGen, second factory. Then we're going to see 2 PGens, another factory, 3 PGens, and an air factory. Now this sounds like the build order of someone who hasn't actually played Subcom before. Unfortunately, it works really well because of this tree reclaim. He has 2,200, he's 2,500 energy reclaim now. Patrick, about the same. He's gonna have 4 PGens. 4 PGens, and he's gonna have 2 land factories and an air factory. The Selene comes in to try and kill some trees because they're obviously the most valuable resource on the map, and fails because Zock is obviously defending his trees. He's not defending an engineer there. He's not defending a mechs from being raided. He's defending his trees with his first tank. God damn it. What am I watching? There's another Engie on lumberjack duty. This attack move, again, designed to grab trees. Six PGens, 7 PGens now, 4 factories. A bomber comes out looking to kill some guys chopping down trees. Zock not building any PGens at all. Just let's see what the bomber can do. It's a drop. He's killed 2 engineers so far. Not particularly valuable engineers. Oh, that didn't drop. Attempted micro. He gets a 3rd engineer. Zock doing some good raiding. And this side, he can probably, after killing this, just run through to here. This is the usual way you use those units. Let's see, trees being reclaimed. God. Similar raid by Patrick over here, but just slightly slower. Now let's see Zock's. Yeah, he's trying too hard to abuse the trees right now. He hasn't got the hydrocarbon, which he really needs. Still, even so, he has 220 power income, right? That's it? 220 power income? 260 now. And he's not stalling. 5.5 minutes. So, important feature of this map is, well, important decision is where you send your ACU. Because there's a lot of bases, a lot of places to send the ACU. One option is send him to mid, take these and get a factory up to take all of this reclaim. Look at all this shit. All these rocks on the side. Massive amounts of reclaim in the middle. Where you send them to here is most common to try and cover all of this stuff, because there's just quite a relatively small choke. It's not that small really, but for the map it's quite small, and you have a lot of resource here: hydrocarbon, 4MXs, entrance to your base, and maybe also try and cut off this angle of attack as well. You could also move across the map, but and if you can actually take this from where Petrick is, then I guess you have a lot of options to where to send your units, but it's generally easiest to go this way, and then that gives you just a complete open area to send your units in any direction. These bases are very vulnerable once your opponent is set up here. PD goes down in the expansion. Absolutely necessary to have PDs in these bases if you don't have any hope of actually holding onto them with any regularity. Gotta get PDs up. Zock starting his T2 land upgrade. Is again raiding on both sides. And Zock has moved his ACU all the way down to this corner, deciding he's gonna claim it. And meanwhile his engineer gets a PD up. So this is actually it's not that dangerous. I mean, if you get set up and you have a radar, and obviously you're going to spot when there's a gigantic army coming, you need to run, and then you have this water to run to at least. But it's quite risky. You're closer to your opponent's base than your own base, which is a good thing to watch out for if you're wondering how at risk you are. But it looks like Zock has definite tank advantage. 70 Mantis. Yeah, well, there's a few arties in there, so it's basically the same. Oh yeah, we can look at this selection cost. 4k mass in tanks and arties. Yep, same. But Zock has basically no Medusa. Zock steps out to defend his artillery, his PD. Takes down the RT before the PD goes down. And you can see most of his reinforcements are towards the south, so he's doing well right now. He has PD set up here. He's defended these mexes. And he has more map control. He has this. He has a mex in the middle. He has this. Big reaction from Petrick here. It's not so bad to overreact on these raids. You can see Zock has sent a lot of units here, and they're actually injured, so you can clean these up and then just push. Although that PD will be done, but he can put pressure on this side with these tanks, or just send them back. I hear rhinos. Now we see it's really opening up for Zock. So he has T2 mexes in the base, 3 of them. Petrick has 2. He has map control. Well, Petrick is taking mid, so it's going to even it up slightly. But this base falls thanks to especially this rhino. And Patrick has no T2 land here to actually take this back anytime soon. This army is very advanced and interesting place to put them. It's a bit of a suicide. Maybe if he had just sent them all this way, would have been better. Or maybe it was just a misclick, I'm not sure. SPD doing massive damage. It goes down eventually. And this whole plateau is very exposed. Can be raided. Counter raid attempted here, but there's no arties. So he has to kind of run around the PD. He's gonna still take fire from it. Another attempted raid up here. It is extremely difficult to stop yourself from taking damage. I think here we had some Mantis trying to kill the Hydro, and Petri just dropped tanks on top of them to save the hydrocarbon. Great move. If the game was even, could make a bigger difference, but as it is now, Petrick is just quite far behind. If we look at the map, you'll see a distinct lack of all those forests that were on it. All of this shit is gone. This entire area reclaimed. A lot of this is reclaimed. Same for Petrick, all this is gone. All of this stuff is reclaimed. Total power reclaim 54k for Zock. Maybe that's where he got his advantage, partly, but also I think the AC moving down to here is pretty nice. It's just very difficult to stop an ACU if it just wants to walk to here and take it, and it's hard to stop. T2 air, gunships moving out. Zock is just had the land advantage. Got his rhinos out first. Now there's the reaction, and Petrick has got a few bots around, and Zock just forced him to deal with another threat, which is air. Zock has air control, and he can kill, well, really any mechs with these gunships right now. Tanks moving in on the bottom, and it should be GG. There we go. Calls GG. Truly dance game map. Yep. Yep. Okay, let's move on. After learning our lesson about trees, move to a map with no tree groups. A familiar one. Hey, it's this flooded Niflheim. This is 50% of the pool. I stop playing you. Hashtag blame Tokido. So there goes the drop. Yeah, so on this map, just make the transport first. Don't really need to make any air units. You're not gonna catch the transport unless maybe there's some ridiculous build you can get to catch the transport. If there is, then I mean, go ahead and find it in your 2-hour sandbox sessions, but other than that, you can just build a transport and drop. Single engineer moving across, that's It's just how Patrick rolls, I guess. And he does have a better build order here. He's also sending his ACU across again. Similar story for Zock, not many factories. He's going to build them on the front. Patrick making his land span back here. It's quite safe location. You're not going to lose the engineers really, unless they get bombed. And of course he's getting the adjacency. Couple naval factories, subs going around. Zock with a lot of factories planned. So yeah, you don't really see frigates on this map, and the reason is there's the stuff to kill in the water is underwater. And you can't really kill stuff on the shore with frigates. I mean, you could probably attack these factories maybe with frigates. Might be useful, but if you make frigates to do that, and your opponent's making subs, then you just lose the frigates. And they're probably, I mean, maybe they kill a factory, but then you just lose the frigates, and you can't kill any mexes either. So subs are the way to go. It also means if you get to a certain stage and you have a lot of subs in the water, they can just die extremely quickly to torp launchers, or sorry, torp bombers. Single pass kills any T1 sub. And Patrick is just doing the same shit again. He has a better build order, and now he's making the gun after walking across. Interesting that he comes out of the water to make gun. He could make it in the water. Might be a bit more stealthy. Zock again has, I'm sure he's probably seen the upgrade. Well, he's certainly seeing it now. And he's running. Yeah, can't make an upgrade there unless he had like, if he had like 3 PDs up or something, 3 or 4 T1 PDs, and just rushed it as hard as he could, then he could probably finish the gun. But in this situation, he's just running away. Patrick now going T2 out. So many subs out. You wanna be careful they don't get picked off like this. Oh boy. That's my cue to leave. So looks pretty damn good for Patrick here. PD is up on the bottom. You can see he builds the PD in the narrowest point of the entire pass, basically. It's right here. So you can cover everything, you can't run past it. Looks like you can run up here, but you can't. So T1 spam battles. I think, you know, T2 land on the bottom side would be really nice because there's no ACU. That would be a nice switch to see. Patrick gone for a T2 upgrade. I mean, he's just taken such a massive advantage here already. He doesn't have to just continue pushing like a madman. He can just chill on this for a second. Get the reclaim on the mexes. Gets their upgrade so that Zock can't just come back to parity with his own gun upgrade. While the battle continues on the bottom, you can just put arties up here, which I think is what he's gonna do. Put arties up here and just kill a lot of factories. He's also doing well in this plateau. 2 factories, PDs. It's quite funny that the person who starts on this side gets less mexes on the top than the person who's likely to drop across here. It's pretty funny, to be honest. Zock now moves in. Just wants to kill as many of these units as possible before the T2 gun commander shows up. There's so much, actually so much of this is anti-air. Now, I don't know if Fetrick made any gunships or anything. He has the T2R factory for a while. I mean, it would be pretty nice to just get a couple torps and kill all the navy. But obviously he's focused on microing this ACU. Zock doesn't have much of a chance with 7k HP, doesn't even have stealth. T2 gun commander for the Seraphim, 12.5k HP. And similar army size. Looks bad for Zock. There's the torp launcher. Nice. So continuing to move back and forth, but Whiteheart's getting a lot of kills on 2 units. Not sure why Zock is moving in here. It's Patrick doing the right thing, just retreating, getting a lot of kills. Zock gets another vet. Patrick is almost on another vet as well. PD goes up. I'm sure he has a lot of mass to work with. Whoa, he has a lot in the bank. Over 2,000 mass in the bank. If we look at the income, he has far more, almost double. Almost double what Zock has, it seems. That should be correct. Bomber's doing good damage now. Actually targeting the ACU. It's not the easiest thing to dodge a lot of bombers who, I mean, Seraphim has nice AoE and will do significant damage. He's very low now. Meanwhile, Petrick's 16,000 HP. T2PD is going up. It looks very, very good for him. He's making T2 land now. He actually needs a lot of units on the bottom. There's so many tanks. All these factories are running non-stop. He has more than double the factories for most of the game on the bottom. Zock does, so this army is actually kind of scary at the minute. Can't allow himself to get run over, because that is where all of his power is. 2 T2 pigeons here, and all of his T1. Emergency PD is going up, but there's so many arties that it's just gonna get stunned, do almost no damage. And yeah. Well, that seems like Zock's last hope. Oh, that's an important vet to get. He gets a 4th vet, gets his HP back. But he has almost nothing here. And at the other side, PD goes down again. And now he's on top of the production. Bombers are still going, but the AAs will clean them up. And also the inties overhead. Zock still just fighting for every bit of ground. If he killed this, he would do a lot of damage to the ACU, but looks like he missed that chance, unfortunately. On the bottom, the units run through. There's a T2PD just gone up, But he could, like, I mean, with these arties, he can do a lot of damage. Oh, it gets stunned. There it goes. Over here, Zock retreats to the water. Oh. He's not in the water. Oops. Yep. It's pretty shallow water around here. So I think it didn't exactly matter whether he died there. I think it was pretty much over. He would lose all of his power in this base. You can see he queued up P-gens here just before his base was gonna go down to try and stay in the game and try and kill also Patrick's power. But it probably wouldn't have made enough difference. I mean, he has a lot of build power on this ACU. T2 ACU is just a great thing to have if you're gonna lose your base. But you can see the attempt was made. Unfortunately, he would have had to run so far into the water to actually be under it, I think, on this map. Let's see. The next game, another familiar map. Oh my goodness. Maybe I won't cast all these games, because we do see a lot of map repetition. Oh hey, it's fires. So Zock losing some points. He was at 2502, I think. I wonder if there's a flooded farce. I feel like there probably is. I mean, there's just fucking flooded everything, isn't there? I feel like there is a flooded farce, so I'll check. Here we go again. Let me just remind you, single P-gen, second factory. How to play Subcom 101. I'm just kidding, please don't try this at home. Don't try this at home. You have to be a level 23 reclaimer to pull off this build. Again, oh my god. I mean, it's Groundhog Day when we're talking about ladder map pool. Also, when we're watching Zock and Patrick play this map. Gotta catch all the big rocks. And a few trees, maybe. But he is probably going to lose this engineer. So we're both cybering this time. So you can kind of see the pattern of the most common spots to raid. You want to attack this location is obviously... The reason you want to attack here is because your opponent doesn't want to send... Well, they're not going to be rallying tanks in this direction. Because, I mean, it's just very slow at the start of the game. There's no point in even sending a tank to, say, this base. So, I mean, if you're rallying tanks this way, then, well, you're just fucking wasting your tank's time, because there's nothing to kill. So, people just react to the raids as they come on this side. So you can probably get some damage done. So that's where people raid. Just straight across the map and into this, and then from here you can run back to here. You can even run all the way over to here. It's pretty annoying when you have people running tanks around this lane here. behind your base, it's quite annoying. Both players just getting their land spam up, getting NGs to reclaim so many trees. Nice raid. Blackheart. Ha! Blackheart. Whiteheart. Denies the Hydra. That could actually be really painful. That could hurt. He's getting this Hydra done up here. That won't be denied. And sending his air scout overhead to actually have some intel to work with for his tanks, which got quite deep into territory. As you can see, using this back lane to just be annoying. He has to be chased down by 4, 5, 6 tanks there. Patrick probably thinking, ACU is maybe a bit exposed, and he's put a lot of pressure on this already, so he's going to send his tanks through the middle and attack this location again, because it is still exposed. It just becomes really even more vulnerable the longer it goes on, where he can't get a PD up. He still doesn't have the mexes built. Could get a focus. Oh, the Mantis got through, and it's another raid in this position. Zock, I imagine he'll do the same as previously and move down to this location. Patrick doing similar to what he did previously, which is move to mid. Doesn't seem interested in sending his commander here. He's probably afraid he will just die there, suicide, get Jester sniped. Any number of things could happen. I think Zock will move south. It also helps a lot. You're not going to get raided here if you have control of both these bases. It's much less likely you can be attacked through this corridor. Zock has a huge number of units. Just looking, it looks like he has a lot more. 77. Well, no, he doesn't. Maybe he just has his in less groups. I mean, he has this group here, this production stream, and he has this army here. Other than that, there's nothing much else. This is a good fight for Patrick. More numbers, a lot of units shooting at once, and Zock retreats before he loses too many more units. He probably lost like 10, 15 units there though. Unfavorable trading. So he's gonna try and hold. Oh, that's interesting. Doesn't have radar here, so he's gonna use air scouts. We're gonna have a bit of a ACU fight here. Zock needs to, let's see, he has 2 PDs, so he's pretty safe. Not under too much pressure. He's gonna try to get some damage done, retreat if necessary. Patrick has to deal with this raid. It's not too difficult to deal with this. I mean, all your production is very nearby. So it might have been a... Well, he's gonna get some damage done, but he's also gonna leave reclaim. Two Mantis are gonna take a while to kill a Hydro. And now, when Patrick moves south, Zock takes his opportunity, moves north. His production stream all heading this way. And that's... See the unit count now, over 100 Mantis. And yeah, now there's an advantage. See, he's losing groups like this. This is really bad trading. So the thing about unit advantage is that if you get it, oh no, Jesters. And oh god, excuse me. And all of Zock's tanks are in mid right now, along with Gestures and his ACU, and Petrick is dead, trapped in the middle. It is a dangerous spot to be. Can get surrounded, and that's what happened here. T2 land didn't actually get a chance to pay for itself at all. Trapped. Yeah. That's the thing, when you get a unit advantage, if you get some favorable fights where, you know, you have the bigger army, you clean up theirs without, you lose less than you kill, and then it's easier to get more favorable fights because you have a few more units. So that stuff can, if you use the advantage correctly, you can really really build on it. If you don't use it correctly, well then you just have 10 more units than them, and who cares about that? Finally, got a sick map. Yep, here we go. Sirtis. Top quality map. Petrick, Seraphim, Zock, Cybran. So I guess Zock is just playing Cybran only. Whiteheart is doing... Maybe he's just doing random, maybe he's just picking factions, I'm not sure. I feel like he would go random. No tryharding in this game. Yeah, Zock versus Petrick on ladder, no tryharding. Sure thing. Zock doing that build again. No PGen, 2 mexes and Hydro. Speed it up a bit. So this engineer got some mexes, and then he's just gonna reclaim. Which is nice. He doesn't have to worry about, like, somewhere around however many minutes in looking for a free engineer to start reclaiming this stuff. He already has a guy dedicated to that important job. Doesn't have to worry about this pretty much. Can worry about where his engineers are going to reclaim here and here. This place is usually the last reclaimed if it's ever reclaimed. Or this spot here. Zock got his factory up before Petrick. Factory's going on down below. It's good to put factories down here, you know, if you feel you have the resources to do it. You don't need them to be reclaiming these rocks, maybe at that particular time. And yeah, just use them to send your some spam across here. We have the bomber. And good dodge. No kills. No kills whatsoever. Quite slow expansion from Zock. He's actually using this guy to reclaim as well. And he's using the one engineer to get all these mexes. So he's using his factory attack move to reclaim this stuff as well after reclaiming the stuff in his core mexes. And it looks like he's gonna get a pretty nice land spam on the top and get some raiding done. Petrick idling his ACU in his base. It's kind of bad. He also doesn't like to send his ACU here. I'm not sure Not sure why exactly. Always seemed like reasonably sensible to me. Zock is just going to mid, but then again he doesn't have to deal with a huge stream of units coming towards this expansion. He does have to deal with some units though. Looks like Patrick may get a similar amount done to what Zock is doing on top with far less units. Zock doesn't have the units right now to fight this. Patrick is pushing him back. Patrick will be able to clean this up, but it's just a question of how long it will delay his mexes. And yeah, on the bottom, very nice kill to get on that engineer wherever his corpse is. There he is. Middle is going down. Zock has a lot of Medusa, probably far too many Medusa, really. And Patrick has no units with him. He won't need arties because the PD is going to be down, but arties would be nice to focus on the ACU while he's reclaiming. On the top you can see it's cleaned up and we have several engineers moving across. There's also quite a bit of reclaim left, so you always have to weigh up, is the delay worth what I'm leaving behind? I mean, it may not be. Patrick, you can see because it's only Medusa and he actually moves there to avoid a lot of fire, but he didn't take that much HP damage considering there was like a dozen Medusa shooting at him. Zock is going T2 air. See, while he was sucking that mass, he's assisting these T1 max upgrades, both of them are. Looks like Zock's ahead on T2 maxes at the minute. And they're both delayed about the same time to their most vulnerable main expansion. The difference is Patrick got some reclaim out of it, some additional reclaim. But Zock also got more of that mid-mass for sure. Also because a lot of units had to be sent across. It was pretty nice the way that timed out. Arties picked out the bunch, set to work on the PD. Yes, so many arties though, you could probably just move in and ignore the PD. Have a drop. Oh, the RT is a bit too close. And actually Zock, or Patrick, sending his AC to the top now. Zox is just kind of chilling in mid. These buildings are also worth reclaiming. Get a couple hundred mass maybe, I don't know. T2 air done for both. This transport still chilling. And T2 land done now for Zock, and he's making the gun. Gun, obviously excellent choice right now with Patrick's ACU perhaps thinking about pushing, but it looks, well, he's retreating now actually. Showed his hand and maybe thinks he can't safely push much further. Let's see his radar. Yeah, he doesn't really know what's in front of him. Also doesn't have much power, so you want to be real careful at that stage. Okay, he's just finishing this D2 gen. So he could go for a commander upgrade at that stage. Now that his PGen's done, go for any upgrade he wanted really. Nano, gun. You can see eating up that mass really fast. Now that he has the power to use it. See Mex is being upped and T2 land on the way. A lot of scouts coming. We have a drop. A few units in the back. The gun is done for Zock, but Patrick, well, he didn't end up moving any further, so the gun upgrade actually not that good anymore. Get debated. This mech's not upgrading, fortunately for Patrick. That would be triggering. And oh shit, yeah, this game. This game froze. This game fucking froze. God damn, sorry guys. Completely blue balled you. That's right, a good map, and the game froze somehow. So let's just see the units and stuff, see where this game could have gone. We have like similar unit numbers, but there's already some rhinos out. There's some gunships, just a couple. A lot of power for Zock. And if we look at income, oh, it doesn't, yeah, doesn't show anymore. But it's pretty damn even game, I'd say. Got like 7 T2 mexes here. 6. Yeah, very similar. Very similar game. And somebody just started T3 land. They both had actually just started T3 land. And we have T2 air for both, so I think we would be looking towards a lot of drops. A lot of T2 drops, T2 transport drops coming in. Damn, that's sad. Well, it's not dwelling it too much. Feels bad. And Patrick actually counted as losing that game, so I guess we can blame him for the game freezing. Oh no. What map have we got now, guys? Will I actually cast these last two? Yeah, let's just run through these last two quick, see if anything different happens. We're on Farce again. Lumberjack Sim 2017. You won't believe how much power I got from chopping down these trees. One PGen. 2 factories. 2 factories, 1 PGen. Is that an internet video? Got a Tham going to defend the trees. Mantis up here. Oh, Hunter. Well, I guess that's all you need, because they're gonna send a scout. Very carefully skirting the edge of the tree line there. Bomber comes in, gets a kill. Scout overhead looking for more targets. There's another, that's a good engineer to kill. Oh, that one hit the cliff and killed one engineer. The other guy took, again, Cyber Bomber. Did 100 damage. And he dies to the anti-air. All the tanks being sent this way from Patrick. He's probably aiming for these trees right here. So a good place to attack. This engineer is very exposed. Perhaps he'll find him. Bit of micro. But well defended by Zock. Tanks looking a bit lost. Not sure where to go. Good raid up here. Another raid here. Well, actually, the engineer died on the way up here. This hunter's just standing guard. Oh, he will get back and deny the hydro again, as we saw before. That's brutal. So instead, Zock will get this one, and it should be protected by the ACU. This engineer survives. He was quite exposed, but the PD will go up. Probably a radar, maybe a factory. A lot of mass in this spot here to grab. A lot of mass here to grab as well. Looking pretty insane for Zock right now. Just has everything. Significant amount more reclaim. The bomber, maybe the bomber hurt Petrick a lot more than I thought. I don't really think so. He only got a couple of kills, so maybe he stalled a shit ton of mass, maybe because he didn't get this, or something happened there. I'm not sure, but Zock is just very far ahead, and it looks bad for him. This UI doesn't update when I use the hotkeys to adjust the game speed, unfortunately. PD, radar. This game might already be too far gone. I mean, let's see the units. 80 versus 50. This is dead. This is very dead. PD goes up. Got a lot of kills. I don't see how Petrick holds on to this and wins. Got a lot of assists now. Is moved to Zock's air factory. One reason to have a lot of engineers in the base is quickly decide what you're gonna do. Change up your plan, but I think Petrick just dies to this army now, unfortunately. That should be that. Dominating victory. Zock is truly the lumberjack master. Zock complaining about balance. Yeah. Okay, we'll just run through this last game. This is, well, I'm sorry. I'm sorry to say. On the same map again. Oh. Oh my god. Yeah, Zock starts to like the map because he can beat Petrick on it. That's the real secret. Walter told me a long time ago. It's that people like the maps they win on. And that's basically accounts for 95% of map preference. Is, have I historically won on this map? Well, I like it then, because I did. That's just how it works, guys. And if you don't believe that, if you believe you have some higher taste, you know what's good, well, who are you trying to fool? I think Zock just broke some trees. Some of his own trees. So that's a rip. GG. Yeah, I broke my tree group. Raid at the top. gets stopped this time. Nicely done. And he successfully raids the top himself, so that's a big win. He does lose a couple engineers here. That's nice raiding. Nice raiding from Patrick. This guy gets a engineer kill as well. And there's a bomber dropped on a mechs, which is just gonna regen. Zock arrives slightly early to the party in the space, but yeah, that should give him the kill. Nice one. On the bottom, he's grabbing his base. So you can see that just the mirror is just Zock just getting the upper hand on these exchanges on the opposite sides of the map. His raids work. He defends Petric's raids. If that happens enough, you end up with a significant advantage. And now he's re-raiding on the top, on the right hand side. Ouch. And Patrick at mid, taking control, gets the PD up and then leaves so that he can actually buys him some time if Zock does actually want to try and capture this. He won't really have time if he has to deal with the PD first. Factory goes down. It is pretty annoying to lose factories like that, and also factories aren't, well, they don't cost nothing. You are losing something there. Your build power is getting killed. Build power is a resource that you're gonna need. As base falls, there's a huge amount of spam. Ill-advised tanks here. Being commanded by some World War I generals or something, just running into PDs. And a commander. Nice raiding. Hydra's gonna go down 3 out of the 4 mexes. And Petrick is feeling the pressure. A lot of units close to his ACU. He doesn't want to get trapped in mid like he did last time. These Mantis raids are just vicious. Well, P-Gen's going down. See, Petrick just threw those up because, well, he needed power at that time, and that's where his build power was. But it hurts to lose them. Thankfully, well, not thankfully, but he had already lost a lot of mexes, so he didn't even have the mass to use that power anymore. Zock has a massive air force, so we'll probably see like jesters come out, or bombers, and maybe just a quick end to this one as well. Patrick really wants mid. More tanks suiciding. Zock is thankful for the veterancy. So is the PD. Also, I have to say, neither of these guys getting this mex up here is pretty bad. I mean, just build an air factory up here. Get a couple NGs to reclaim all that tree reclaim up there, and then get the mechs and use the... And you have another air factory, which you're probably going to want anyway. Petrick might survive this battle. Well, oh, bombers. He's not surviving this. And that's that. Well, I will send this to Keto as a Very detailed complaint. Wow, I didn't know the smoke column looks like that. That's so cool. Damn. Okay. Anyway, I have to send this to Tokido as a complaint about the map pool and how it's also great to watch if you want to know how random, what random means. It means, well, it doesn't mean each of the 7 maps in succession, that's for sure. So, okay, let's end it there. I don't know how long this was. Pretty long. I will cast some more in the future. Thanks for watching, and go play some ladder.